come to the spot to give me a visual target to bait to, and also allow me to accurately measure out my lines to allow me to cast to the same spot time after time.
So this is it, this is the hump. So we're gonna stop now, and if I go any further, that is literally gonna go up to 2.5 feet. So can you imagine out there, you've got 5 foot of depth or 5.5, and suddenly this big old thing comes out the bottom like a monolith. That is a real holding hole for fish. Right, marker float is about to drop. Big old left swing on that. Hear that? Dig, dig.
With the marker now set and the spot accurately located, I could use the boat's primary function to distribute our chosen bait of cell and link boilies, maize and tiger nuts with precision quickly, and with the motorised spirals, it creates a spread of bait for the carp to home in on.
Well, that should be all the bait gone. And it's time to get the rod sorted.
I was using a similar technique and utilising modern carp technology, a castable deeper sonar device which would transmit useful data back to my phone like depth, lake bed structure and also if fish are present.
So we're coming in, it's all steady, there's a tiny little bit of weed out there. Very, very little though, nothing that's going to make presentation a problem. But lots of fish icons on the screen.
I was going traditional and taking the marker rod approach, which with fish already giving up their location, finding a clear spot at the right depth was key, as the lake bed is full of rocky snags which could easily cut me off.
8, 9. So 9.5 foot I've got out there, which is a brilliant depth for this time of the year, especially when the weather's like this.
With our features and spots all discovered and accurately located, it was time to cast out. With the rods set and alarms triggered, it was now down to the carp, but Spooner had one last trick up his sleeve.
Now there's a bit of a superstition in carp fishing, and that is at the start of a session you always pay the lay, just for 1p or a 2p. Well, you know what, back at the Pike Lake I found a Serbian dinar, and it makes sense now. Here I want to catch a personal best. This is going to do it for me. Away you go, mate.
Never gonna work.
Never say never, Dovey. I've got a good feeling about this week. And my rods have barely been out 20 minutes, and if I'm not mistaken, that's a bite.
That's much quicker than I thought. Wow. Welcome to Bosnia.
You was looking very serious there for a second, I suppose. That didn't take long, did it?
Mate, 20 minutes?
It'd be good if the action's as quick as this, mate, wouldn't it? Did you ever actually think you'd catch a Bosnian carp before we knew we was coming on this trip?
At no point did I ever think I'd go, I'll be honest, I'd go to Bosnia, let alone carp fishing in Bosnia.
That's quite a good fish.
Not tiny.
She's a 30-pounder. I'm not going to rush it. Yes! Well done, mate.
Ah, what about that for a wicked way to start? Not been here very long, 29.25. Definitely not one of the big ones in here, but you don't spoil it too early, do you?
Wow, before he could put the fish back, Spooner's alarm roared off again. Unbelievable.
Your gamble's paid off.
It's strange, isn't it? There's obviously lots of fish in here, but there's not much activity, is there? There's not much showing, not much fizzing.
They just can't resist my sherbet hook baits.
Is it bigger?
Yes, 30-pounder this time.
Yeah. Get it? Yes. Or a specker.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, that's definitely a bigger fish.
Yeah.
It is
Heavy.
heavy. Just over 40 £4, I reckon.
Wicked. Oh, what about that? No sooner had the first one gone back, the second rod's away, but this time the fish is over 10 pound bigger, 40.25. If it carries on like this, it's going to be a crazy week.
Spoons must be in heaven as that bay seems full of fish, and with no time to rest and the rod barely being back out for 10 minutes, he was into another. This one weighing just over 30 pounds. What a start for Spoons. I may not be catching all the carp, but I've got the next best thing, a man's best friend.
Spooner may have had 3 fish, but I have 5 wonderful puppies. To be honest, for me, life doesn't actually get much better than this. This is pretty epic. Go on, have a look. Why not? See? That's good. It's a good feeling.
That is proper weird, Al. Still, whatever floats your boat, mate. For me, that's carp, and lots of them. Carp number 4 weighing in at £37. What a brute.
Then before Spooner had a chance to get the rod back on his alarms, he felt something.
This rod's just gone in my hand.
This is getting ridiculous. Fish number 5, and it's only the first day.
Get you now. Yes!
Meanwhile, over in Ali's swim,
I'm getting liners off the dogs.
They are gradually getting bigger. This one spun the scale to just over £43. My PB's 53. We're chasing it. Let's hope the trend continues.
After a long and successful day of Spooner hauling carp, the sun is now setting, which will hopefully mean the carp will venture out from Spooner's Bay and into the main part of the lake. As we entered darkness, Spooner took his tally to 8. Unfortunately, there were no real monsters among them, but then the carp seemed to move out from the bay and Dovey was awoken by a strange bite.
Picked up this middle rod and it's over my right-hand rod. The right-hand rod's slack. And this one's got a lead halfway up to the lot. I can't work out what's going on, but I've got a fish on. Something very powerful. It's just a bit of a carp. Whoa! Whoa! Oh my days! Oh my days! Look at the size of that! Yes!
Wow, just wow. That looks huge, but how big is it?
Right, these are only £60 scales, so it might not be that big, but it looks it to me. Do you want to get around that side and call it?
Bottomed them. They're bottom, mate.
Are they?
Yep.
Okay. We have a problem. This is a good problem.
If the scales are bottoming out at 63.5 pounds, this means that Dove's first Bosnian carp will be a new PB, as his previous biggest king carp was just over 62 pounds. With no scales big enough, we sacked the fish safely in the deep, weedless, oxygenated water till the morning.
the next morning Spooner was already up and playing a big old carp. Another stunning fish weighing just over 42 pounds. Not a bad start to the day. I wonder how Ali got on.
All quiet on the western front fishing-wise this morning. No action down this end of the lake. Total contrast to the other end of the lake. And to make matters worse, I've got a very bizarre alarm clock that booted me out of bed. But you know what? If they're happy, I'm happy.
I'm glad you're happy, Al, but we've got a PB to weigh down here.
I've been fishing for years and caught hundreds of carp. Breaking your PB doesn't happen too often, so when you think you have, the adrenaline and excitement kicks in. It's moments like this that us carp anglers live for.
What a carp,
What a
mate.
carp, look at that. That's incredible, mate. Not real width to probably take over the 70 barrier, but that looks...
I think it's...
Look at the length, that's the length of a 80, 90 pounder.
It's massive, isn't it?
massive.
Moment of truth. Thomas Dove, I'd like to let you know this is a PB, right? It is 66. Yeah! 11! Well done, mate. Made up for you, that's brilliant.
Oh, my days.
That is a massive fish. To be honest, it was one of the strangest fish I've ever hooked as well, because I didn't even know it was a carp. I didn't even know I had one on.
Such a pro.
Yeah, usually I've got it together, but with this one I didn't. Oh, look.
Oh, my days.
What a creature.
So
like
what
we
is
said
that,
as well.
66.11.
What's your PB, Tom? 66.11.
What a start to the trip, lads. Unbelievable.
He didn't like me kissing him.
I wouldn't either.
All right.
Absolute beast that is. It's going to get into some deep water. I am so happy with that. Go on, mate. Yes!
The carp fishing was well underway and Spooner was catching for fun in a small bay full of Bosnian carp. Dovey was also off the mark, breaking his personal best, which now stands at £66 11 ounces. For me, though, I've yet to get amongst the big uns, but it wasn't all doom and gloom, as I've adopted a family of stray dogs that were living in my swim. And what happens next? Well, basically, Spooner goes on a rampage. Eat, sleep, fish, repeat.
This lake is full of carp and the average stamp is huge, and with Spooner catching loads of them, it's dramatically increasing the chance of him catching his PB and the possibility of seeing that 80-pounder on the bank. It was the session Harry Sprotter had always been dreaming of.
What's happening?
Mate, we've done quite a few challenges since we've come on these.
I've won most of them, to be fair.
You have won most of them, but I've never been happier to catch a 3.5 pound pike.
And to be fair, I've never been happier to lose a 10-pound pike. If I'd have landed that pike, I wouldn't have caught that big one. So